Next up, Russ and I are going to cover the Superman 4K Steelbook collection. Is this the Steelbook collection of the year? Find out next. Welcome back, everyone, to 4K Kings. I am Matt.
I'm Russ.
And welcome to your one-stop shop for physical media, home media, reviews, news, and so much more. So, Russ, this week we've got a little bit of a Steelbook lineup, but the crown jewel, it seems, in any Steelbook lover's library should now be the Superman 5-film collection in 4K. Superman 1 through 4 5-film collection.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
That means Superman 2 and the Superman 2 Donner cut, but to me, that's not really a 5th film. That's just sort of a director's cut of one that's already in there.
Not to me, it isn't.
I haven't seen the Donner cut, but supposedly it's a completely different film.
Is it? Well, maybe that's why.
Because what happened on 2, he left.
What was sort of the reaction on set when you guys first learned that Donner was taken off the film?
Well, I produced the film. It's a very complex story, which I don't think I want to talk about. There are different sides to every story. There were a lot of things. I mean, movies are business also.
When we talked about this the first time, we referenced the previous Blu-ray one that was called the Superman 5-film collection, and it had the Brandon Routh one in it. So we were wondering, would that be included here? But they've decided to not include that. This is available in the UK through Zavvi, and it's available in America in a Amazon exclusive, which is kind of weird because you'd expect this to be like a Best Buy thing. You can get this in a Steelbook box set, or you can get these in individual steels, as well as individual regulars, which we'll talk about in a second. What's awesome, I think, is that the Steelbooks are the original art. You're a big Steelbook fan, you only want the original art for a lot of these Steelbooks. Some of the original Superman art is kind of cool. They didn't need to change it. They didn't change it, which is really, I guess, rare this day and age.
They even kept the DC logo on it.
They sure did, Russ. They really made sure that you knew that it was DC. It says on the Amazon and Zavvi website that these Steelbooks have like spot gloss on the titles and all this stuff. So it doesn't just seem like a regular old Steelbook. It seems like there might be some nice detail to it. And in this box set version, you also get a comic book. You get some kind of little poster and booklet, and I think it was like certificate of authenticity. As far as I'm concerned, I would not pick up this box set only because I don't need to own 3 and 4. I like that they're individual Steelbooks, kind of like Russ, your Indiana Jones story. Maybe you don't need 4. Maybe you don't want 3. You can just pick up the ones you do want, and they're all here. And I think that's pretty cool.
Maybe you don't want 2 or 3. You just want 4.
Never set one of them above the rest.
If you're not a fan of original art and you're not a fan of Steelbooks, you could get something in a regular. They already have the original Superman the movie out in 4K, so they're not reissuing that. Give me your hot take.
Of course I prefer the original artwork Steelbooks over these. These aren't terrible, though, and as I said, at least they managed to keep the DC logo on them. I don't know if you remember, Matt, but back in 1978, when the DC multiverse was just getting started, that was so exciting. Word on the streets is like, oh, this new Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, and then we're going to get Pryor, and it's going to branch off into Tim Burton's Batman. It was so amazing. It captured all of our imaginations. And to have a release of the Superman films from, 78 and the 80s without that DC logo on it would be a travesty.
Is that how a warped brain like yours gets its kicks?
Would you consider this original art, considering the DC logo's there? Does that bother you enough to not get it?
Man, I don't know. Does it bother you?
I don't think so.
Well, this is weird. To me, it's like...
I wish it wasn't there, but it's not going to stop me from getting it, I don't think.
To me, especially the Donner ones, they're so quaint and old-fashioned and old school. I don't associate them at all with anything DC has done in the past 20 years, 30, like nothing.
Right.
And honestly, let's be real. Marvel won. I mean, with the whole interconnected universes and episodic cinematic storytelling, Marvel won. Like, stop trying to bullshit me and be like, wow, these are all great and connected. Oh, if anything, it reminds me that they're a failure.
They want you to know that the failure started here, way before anyone else got involved.
We didn't have our shit together back in 1978.
Who is this imbecile?
That's my hot take.
That's your hot take. Okay, well, it is available April 18th in the US. It doesn't look like, as usual, that there's anything more here than transfers and, the fancy Steelbook packaging. Like, you're not getting more featurettes, you're not getting any retrospectives, there's no new features to be had. It's kind of the typical studio fare where we're just going to put out our beloved franchise thing, Basically, as it's always been out there, just new packaging and 4K.
Hey, I don't mean to go dark here. But
Go dark.
You know how depressing a retrospective would be?
Actor Christopher Reeve is dead at the age of 52.
We're sad to tell you that he died yesterday. He was 91 years old.
Years later, it was a very different Margot Kidder who was found disheveled and disoriented in a Los Angeles backyard.
So, which ones of these are you getting?
So I'm going to pick up all 4.
Are you getting the entire box set
Both.
with the big tin and the
I'm
booklet?
getting the box set and the standalones and the Steelbooks, all of them. 1 and 2 on Steelbook is probably the way I'm going to go on this.
That's going to be the one? Okay. Well, it looks like in the U.S., it's being sold, and as far as this pre-order link is concerned, $130. When I originally saw the one on Zavvi and the conversion rate, it ended up being $160-something. So remember, maybe they've both come down.
Everything has a price in the marketplace, and so do cars, so do hula hoops.
Russ, do you know what just had its 20th anniversary? It's House of a Thousand Corpses.
Worst movie ever made. I hate this movie.
House of a Thousand Corpses is coming out in a regular sort of what they're calling a box set edition and a steelbook, but it's coming out April 11th from Lionsgate, 20th anniversary. It's a 2-disc collection. It comes with the film plus a bonus disc that has never before seen stuff, cast and director interviews, behind the scenes, on-set footage, screen tests, like a bunch of stuff that has never been released. This regular set, it comes with like a nice little box, a poster, a booklet, some art cards. All this stuff is like overseen by Rob Zombie. The only thing that sucks is it's Blu-ray.
Most of all, fuck you!
Again, it's like, who's still putting out Blu-rays for anniversaries? I mean, we talked about that for like The Ring and Catch Me If You Can and, like Wayne's World. There was a bunch that came out for anniversaries that should have been 4K and weren't. But considering what's going on here with this box and all this extra stuff, it kind of sucks that it's a Blu-ray. And so is the Steelbook too. So here's the Steelbook. It's like a slide down plastic, thing that Lionsgate loves to do. And I've got no idea what this movie is about. I don't know what the imagery is like, other than it's maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque in my mind. So I don't know what I'm even looking at here.
If you were familiar with the movie, you would say the same thing about this that you said about Cloverfield, in a way.
This is like a reveal on here?
Kind of. You don't see this character at all until the last maybe 10 minutes of the movie.
Is this the new thing? Like Cloverfield, Reservoir Dogs, showing like scenes from movies that are not spoilers, but are kind of like moments in the movie that you're leading up to that moment or something. Like what is that about?
Once 20 years has gone by, you don't have to say spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't gotten around to it in 20 years, I'm pretty sure you don't care.
This is coming out April 11th for anyone that still is buying Blu-rays, especially in 20th anniversary collections. If you're a fan of this movie, come and get it.
I'm going to hold out for the Lionsgate 100 film collection.
Would you like to crap on Disney just for a few moments? I know you like that. We mentioned when Warner Brothers was doing their 100th anniversary and they put some like news out, they were going to do all this crap. And Disney was like, said something similar, but didn't really detail much. And all that they've really leaked out is these steelbooks for their 100th anniversary, these 4K steelbooks of basically all their animation titles, things that have already been put out in 4K, nothing new. It's just they are literal steel books.
Mini refrigerators.
Basically, yeah, exactly. A little mini refrigerator. It's boring as hell. They just have this little inner picture of whatever the character is. It says Disney 100 on it. They've done something similar to this. Maybe it was Blu-ray where they looked identical. And coming May 2nd, just in time for May the 4th be with you, they're doing the same thing for Star Wars. They're putting the original Star Wars New Hope, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And these looks just as stupid. They're put together to sit all in one row on your shelf or something, but good God.
Is that a drawing of R2-D2? Is this like some classic?
It's a sketch.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It looks like the old school Mickey Mouse kind of stuff. They look like some overpriced souvenir you'd buy at like a Disney store or something. It looks like a Christmas ornament.
I know exactly what you mean, love.
Pirates of the Caribbean 4K Steelbook collection, which contains all 5 films in a rather chintzy, cardboard style box, but then all the original art steels are on the inside. It's coming out March 27th exclusively from Zavvi.
Savvy.
And these have already, again, been released in 4K, every single one.
Are these new transfers?
Oh, no.
Because they released the original Pirates on 4K, and that transfer was supposedly horrendous.
So there isn't anything new here. It's just all of them in one place, all steelbooks, which you can buy individually if you like, or you can buy them in this nice box set from Disney and Zavvi, a partnership. But that's pretty much the Steelbook roundup of the week. There really wasn't anything else that I saw that was, anything huge that anyone that watches this channel would like. If you like this video, consider subscribing, consider giving us a like, consider sharing it.
Go spam a bunch of sites with links to our videos.
Please do. Please do. And if you're going to pick up the Superman collection or any of these steals you heard, drop us a comment. Let us know what you're going to get. Coming up soon, we're going to be reviewing the Rocky Knockout collection. We're going to be reviewing Dazed and Confused. So come back and check in with us soon.
Inflate balloons from their ears, and that happens to catch on.